Welcome to TBK's Truth Frame, where erased voices are restored, hidden histories are illuminated, and memory becomes our guide. My Truth Frame 53 coincidentally goes back to the year 1953, which saw the first general strike in the history of Sri Lanka's post-independence period. The rice subsidy crisis and the Hartal strike, which went violent. One of the most critical issues was the rice subsidy, a legacy from World War II rationing. Rice was the staple food, and the government had long subsidized its price to keep it affordable. In the 1952 election, the ruling United National Party, UNP, promised to maintain the rice price at 25 cents per measure. But after winning the election, the government reversed its promise. In July 1953, the rice subsidy was cut, and the price jumped to 70 cents per measure, nearly triple. This decision was influenced by mounting budget deficits. Food subsidies consumed nearly 20% of government spending. Pressure from the World Bank and Central Bank of Ceylon. These institutions urged the government to reduce welfare spending and focus on economic development. Internal divisions. Finance Minister J.R. Jayawardena pushed for austerity, while others hesitated. Alongside the rice hike, the government also increased rail fares and postal rates, withdrew free school meals, raised taxes on basic goods. These measures hit the poor hardest and sparked widespread anger. The Hartal of 1953. On August 12, 1953, leftist parties including the Lanka Sama Samaja Party, LSSP, and Communist Party organized a nationwide Hartal, a general strike and civil disobedience campaign. It was the first time the masses rose against an elected government. The protests were intense. Trains were sabotaged, including the one I saw burning in the newspaper. Roads were blocked, and telegraph lines cut. Shops and offices closed, and transport halted. 21 people were killed, and the government declared a state of emergency. For a brief period Dudley Senanayake ran away to India, giving the reins to Sir Joe Kotalawala. The Prime Minister, Dudley Senanayake, was so shaken that he later resigned in October 1953. My awakening. That burning train was not just a symbol of chaos, it was a spark. It lit a fire of curiosity and reflection that grew with time. I was not a politician, but I became a witness indirectly. And this video is my testimony. From the hopeful dawn of independence to the fiery reckoning of 1953, Sri Lanka's political journey began with both promise and pain. The Hartal was not just a protest, it was a turning point. It revealed the deep disconnect between the ruling elite and the working class. It showed that politics was not confined to parliament, it lived in the streets, in the homes, and in the hearts of the people. Dudley Senanayake's resignation and retreat, a turning point in Sri Lankan politics. The aftermath of the 1953 Hartal left Prime Minister Dudley Senanayake physically and emotionally drained. The mass uprising, triggered by the government's decision to cut the rice subsidy and other welfare measures, had shaken the foundations of the newly independent nation. Though the Hartal lasted only a day, its impact was profound. 21 people were killed, infrastructure was sabotaged, and the government was forced to declare a state of emergency. Senanayake, already burdened by the sudden death of his father D.S. Senanayake in 1952, had taken on the premiership reluctantly. The Hartal exposed deep divisions within the ruling United National Party, UNP, and revealed the growing disconnect between the government and the working class. Dudley, who had campaigned on maintaining the rice subsidy, now faced public outrage for reversing that promise. A quiet escape to India. Following the Hartal, Dudley Senanayake's health deteriorated. He was reportedly gravely ill during the crisis and retreated to India for a brief period to recover. This move was seen by many as a symbolic withdrawal, not just from the political spotlight, but from the pressures of leadership itself. While in India, he remained out of public view, leaving the reins of government in the hands of Sir John Kotelawala, his cousin and Minister of Transport and Works. This temporary absence gave rise to speculation. Some believed Dudley was contemplating leaving politics permanently, and there were even rumors that he might become a Buddhist monk. Though these claims were never confirmed, they reflected the depth of his disillusionment. The resignation. On October 12, 1953, Dudley Senanayake officially resigned as Prime Minister, citing ill health and the need for a leader unhampered by any ailment. In his resignation statement, he wrote, "I have endeavored to fulfill the heavy responsibilities of the important charge entrusted to my care with all the conscientiousness that is possible to a human being. But I take my leave of you with firm faith that our party and our new government will work in unison for the welfare and happiness of Sri Lanka." His departure marked the first voluntary resignation of a head of government in independent Sri Lanka. The Governor-General, Lord Solberry, then invited Sir John Kotelawala to form a new government, which he accepted. Legacy of the resignation. Dudley's resignation was not just a political event, it was a moment of reckoning. It highlighted the fragility of post-independence governance and the emotional toll of leadership. His decision to step down, rather than cling to power, earned him a reputation as a reluctant yet principled politician. Though he remained a backbencher until 1956, Dudley would later return to lead the UNP and serve as Prime Minister again in 1960 and 1965 to 1970, proving that his retreat was not the end, but a pause in a remarkable political journey. Looking back at the events from 1953 to 2025, it is evident that Sri Lanka's slow but steady decline in governance began more than 75 years ago. The emergence of a left-oriented government may well be a direct consequence of that long-term deterioration. If you believe these stories matter, like, reflect, remember and subscribe. Your comments are most welcome. Your support fuels the next frame of truth. Thank you and keep looking for my historical videos.